Good morning and welcome back. The COVID-19 outbreak has Americans suing China for trillions of dollars in damages after GOP lawmakers introduce a bill to greenlight legal action against Beijing.
China has to pay for all of this.
Now that we know how they have wronged us, Americans are going to do what Americans do when we feel an injustice is leveled against us. We're going to find somebody to sue.
Those are the two authors of this legislation right there. What legal rights do Americans have is the big question. And will these lawsuits hold up at all? Joining us to break it down, criminal defense attorney Robert Bianchi. Sir, thanks for coming back to the show. We appreciate it. Does this have any chance?
Well, every lawsuit has a chance, but there is a plethora of law behind this with the Foreign Immunity Act, essentially, that's out there that prohibits nations from bringing other citizens of other nations into courts. And there's a reason for that. The United States doesn't want to be dragged into the courts of China. China doesn't want to be dragged into the courts of the United States. So the courts have been very, very specific with regard to this act that under a limited amount of circumstances can you sue another country, even for some of the most egregious conduct. What these lawsuits are trying to do, Rob, is they're trying to fit it into two of these narrow exceptions. And I think it's going to be very difficult because China is not going to become forthcoming with this information. And I think it's going to be unlikely they're going to be able to fit these narrow exceptions despite what appears to be outrageous conduct on behalf of China.
And Bob, I don't know if it matters how many people are to jump on board, but if you take a look at this, there are at least 7 class action lawsuits filed against China in 5 different states, 2 in Florida, in Texas, Nevada, 2 in California, and then 1 in Louisiana. And here's what China's foreign ministry spokesman says. This is a quote: attacking and discrediting other countries simply wastes time and cannot save lost lives. China has been attacked by the virus and is also a victim of the virus. We are not the culprit, not the accomplice of the virus. Bob, your reaction to that?
Well, I mean, that's their position. The position that people filing the lawsuits is that China did know about it, that China withheld it. The whistleblower, unfortunately, the doctor, died as a result of this. And Jillian, one of the things that's really important about this is that it's going to be a political decision, too. The rest of the world is pretty much believing this came from China, that they were malfeasant and actually intentionally, some people suggest, looking for it to spread into this country. And so the courts, when I said, are reluctant typically to allow countries to be sued in United States courts. That could be a compelling factor to some judges that say, you know what, there is the political will across the entire world to allow these lawsuits to continue. And that is where there may be a possibility of these lawsuits becoming successful.
That is interesting. Let's look at another part of this. There's a group of New Yorkers who want to sue the World Health Organization for the alleged cover-up, an organization that looks terrible right now. Looks like they were kind of bowing and kowtowing to China and what they were telling them. Here is just a statement from that. The WHO mishandled the response to the discovery of the coronavirus and, upon information and belief, engaged in a cover-up of the COVID-19 pandemic in China, contributing to the subsequent spread all over the world. What do you make of that lawsuit?
You know, when you're dealing with something where you're using words, Rob, like cover up, or they had information and a responsibility to be able to push it out, well, now you're working your way into a place where there could be a viable lawsuit. I mean, a lot of these things, guys, it comes down to what the facts are that are established. And if you can show things of that nature, not only is it morally irresponsible, but they are also going to be held potentially liable for that. But again, I hate to keep saying the same thing. These things are allegations that are being made that need to be proven factually in order to be any efficacy or ability to actually pursue a lawsuit like this.
Well, we will certainly be following it, as I know you will. Bob, good to see you. Thank you.
And by the way, a great Skype shot you have there with the banner behind you. I mean, that's one of the cleanest Skype shots I think we've seen. So.
Hey, what can I tell you? Living the dream, guys.
Thanks, Bob. All right, 20